with us now as we take you on a journey from the heart of New South Wales through the Hunter Valley to the beautiful beaches of the Central Coast.
Over 4 episodes, we'll be exploring the iconic and rugged landscapes on offer from Dubbo to Nelson Bay and all the other surprises in between.
So pack your bags and climb on board with us as we take you on the ultimate bush to beach adventure.
It's time to see this land of wonder. It's time to go and see what's up down under. What's up down under?
G'day and welcome to the show. Today's the 3rd episode of our 4-part journey from Dubbo through to Nelson Bay.
And it's all been brought to you thanks to our great mates at G&S Chassis, Galaxy Caravans and Lotus Caravans.
Today we're going to leave the muddy tracks of Bylong Creek behind and head for the coast to Newcastle.
So come along with us as we show you
What's up down under. Picking up from where we left off last week, we find ourselves camped in the rough and wild landscape of the glorious Bylong Creek 4x4 park. But before we get out on the road to the next part of our trip, here's Sal from G&S Chassis with a few handy tips on how to pack away your camping gear before a big day out on the road.
Just packing up from camp. We've got another rough day ahead of us, so we might as well make sure everything's nice and secure, doesn't fall out of trailers, and check all our tyre pressures and everything's right to go again for another big day. Make sure when you pack up, you tie things up properly so they don't fall out of the side of your tarps and your swags and all that, don't fall out. And make sure everything's secure. Anything that's made out of glass or whatever, you pack it away neatly because it will rattle and break. So you're going to have to pack everything up properly. It's important on trips like this.
Well, it had rained all night at Bylong Creek, and as much as we'd had a good night, the weather had a great night, so it just kept pouring. So whatever was greasy in the afternoon on the way in was greasier in the morning. And now we'd flogged those things to get them up the hill to get in. What goes up must come down, and we had to head the other way. And all of a sudden, we got big caravans not pulling us back, they're pushing us down. So it's a whole different ball game. But everyone lined up, there was a bit of apprehension there. We all talked ourselves through it. We got ourselves to the point where we had the vehicles set up for it. Tyre pressures were right, everything we could do. And then down the hill we went, and one after the other, they performed like champions, but they all held their footing and made it to the bottom. So just like that, we said goodbye to the wet and wild tracks of Bylong Creek and began to make our way east through the Hunter Valley towards the coast. About 2.5 hours from the rugged and rural terrain of Bylong Creek, we stumbled across the town of Kurri Kurri, where we decided to drop in for a quick pit stop in search of more adventure. We want to have a bit of an explore around the Hunter Valley region around Kurri Kurri, so we've pulled up here at the Coach Stop Caravan Park. I'm going to unhook the van and go and catch up with Tanya. She reckons she's got a bit of a challenge for me. Don't know what it is. Well, after a couple of days of playing in the mud on the dirt tracks, we decided we'd come to town, clean the wheels up, find another mode of transport and tear it up on the tarmac.
Just a couple of minutes out of Kurri Kurri is Go-Karts Go, and it happens to be one of my favourite pastimes. So Macca, get ready to eat my dust.
No, you've got no chance, Kernighan, no chance. Go-Karts Go was a really good end to the day. We'd had a long day behind the wheel, we'd done a few miles and beautiful drive, you know, covered some really good country. But there's always someone with their eye on you when you're out there on the road. You know, you can't do this wrong, can't do that wrong. You were going too fast, you were going too slow. You didn't indicate, you didn't do this. Go to a go-kart track. That's where you're supposed to go fast. Want any tips or anything before we get out there? I'm always good to my mother, but do you want any driving tips, you know?
No, what do you got for me?
I'm happy to help you out.
What do you got?
Well, if you keep out of my way when I'm coming past you, you know, every time I lap you, just get out of my way so I can just keep going fast out there.
Mate, you're going to have a hell of a time trying to catch me.
What?
Yeah.
You serious?
With my driving expertise and skill, you'll be just like still in the bits here.
Oh, you're going to be sore at the end of this, you are. No chance.
Now, for those folks who know me, you know, pretty well, they'll know that I love go-kart racing, and when it comes to getting out on the track, I have no fear, and I take no prisoners. And, you know, Macca set me a bit of a challenge. He was going to cook dinner if I won, and I certainly wasn't going to cook dinner that night.
And Tanya, she gave me a touch-up, I've got to tell you. I mean, I went in there feeling pretty confident, and in she comes. Old Tanya Koenig and Leadfoot. I don't think she used the brake pedal the whole way around the track. I tried everything I knew to get around her. She wouldn't let me in. I reckon she was cheating. I can't remember how. I can't work out how. I looked for everything.
So I put the pedal to the metal, got behind the old go-kart and let her rip. And, you know, I wasn't in my finest form that day, I must admit. But Macca was pretty much a snack for me that day.
She did me like a dinner, but it was good fun.
Well, Macca, if I've told you once, I've told you a million times. You're never going to beat me at go-kart racing.
Talk about it. All right, I'll live up to the bet. We'll go back. I'll cook dinner. We're having one away.
What's that going to be?
You'll find out.
Come on then.
Coming up after the break, Tanya and I cook up another of our one-pot wonders.
What's up down under?
Time to start planning for the most important part of the day again, dinner. Now, today is an absolutely magnificent day, nice and warm, almost cracking a sweat on the brow, but at night here, as cold as a cuddle from your mother-in-law. So, perfect weather for a bit of soup. Now, I said to Tanya this morning, what sort of soup do you feel like? Something a little bit different, and she said French onion.
Well, this is how it goes, Macca. We've got some onions, we've got some oil, we've got some butter, we've got some stock, and it's all going to go in our one-pot wonder.
What do we start with? A bit of butter?
Yep, tablespoons of butter as well.
I'll put a splash of oil. We've got our oil from our mates at Kyneton here. How much of a splash?
Yeah, that'll do. That looks pretty good.
Every time she says that'll do, I'll put a little bit more in.
And we'll throw in some onions that I diced earlier.
So you put a bit of salt in with that or
Yeah,
anything?
a bit of salt and pepper, that'd be great.
The secret here is you've got to get the onion nice and soft, Tanya, you reckon? So how long do you think that'll take?
So we'll just let that simmer away for about 30 minutes, stirring it occasionally.
Won't take 30 minutes here today. She's going to take that long to do 30 minutes. Get ready for one of these. There you go, 30 minutes, just like that. Doesn't take us long to do a 5-minute job.
Now we're going to make that look a whole lot nicer now.
What have we got? Sugar.
So yeah, brown sugar. So put about 2 teaspoons of brown sugar, which then a couple of tablespoons of flour. And I've got some stock here, and then give it about 30 minutes and let it simmer away. And in the meantime, Mac is going to make some garlicky cheese toasty bread to have with our soup.
You want me to do that now or when we come back?
When we come back.
All right, here, 30 minutes. See you then. There you go, another 30 minutes. Can we have a look inside there and see what's going, Tanya?
Sure can. Oh, it's looking really good.
Right, I'm going to get going on this bread.
We're going to cook these in the barbie, but the difference this time around is we're going to put some cheese on the top just to give it that little bit of extra flavour.
Now, we haven't got an oven here, so we're going to use the barbie.
Okay.
We've got that going. I'm just going to do them on the grill.
Hey,
Okay.
talking about grills, when I was looking at your grill the other day of the car, I was thinking about how well the caravans performed.
Hey, haven't they?
Yeah, really great. I was so impressed at the four-wheel drive park the other day. Just the conditions that we were in, and you know, when they talk about these vans are built for rough terrain conditions, they really went well.
That's that control rider suspension, because being an independent suspension, if you're running down a track with a beam axle, the old school axles under a caravan, one side drops into a pothole, what happens is that pulls the whole caravan over. So you tend to end up with doing that.
Yeah.
With the control rider, if there's a pothole on this side, that wheel drops in, this one keeps running true. So you've got one doing this, one doing that, and the caravan just keeps going level.
I was watching just that happening, think that's so cool. And you haven't got the rocking and the rolling of the van at all.
How long do you reckon they're going to take?
Geez, that smells great.
It does smell good, that's why I want to know how long it's going to take, because I want to eat one.
Couple of minutes.
Couple of minutes, see you in a sec. Back again, let's check them. Ooh, looking good.
This is
I'm
looking
going to take
good
them
too.
off. How is that going?
Yep.
Hey, they're hot. That's what happens when you cook them in a barbecue.
It's boiling its backside off. I better turn it down.
Oh, it's the worst part of a soup to burn off. Once it's burned its backside off, there's nothing left for it to stand up. Its pans are going to fall down, everything goes wrong. All right, we're going to go in there. 1 minute down, then next minute, done. Oh, that smells
Good
good.
stuff,
See you
yeah.
in 1 minute. Doesn't take long for a minute to go by anymore, does it? I'll check these. Oh,
Would you like me to put the cheese on the top?
can you do that? Can I put these back in?
Yeah, righto.
Back into the barbecue, close the lid because it's about to become our oven, of course.
This is just about ready too, Macca.
Is it?
Yep. I reckon we can get a bowl and serve this up. Gee, they look fantastic.
Coming up after the break, we get back on the road and head to Newcastle. The time had come again for us to get back on the road and keep this bush to beach adventure moving. Just half an hour east of Kurri Kurri, we rolled into the iconic New South Wales city of Newcastle. And just a stone's throw out of town, we made our way to the stunning Stockton Beach Holiday Park, where I caught up with Mark from G&S to have a quick chat. Mark, following you down the road today, I was looking forward to the mesmerising sway of the caravan in front of me, and I didn't have it. You had it towing like a bullet, mate. What's your secret?
Oh, just getting the balance right. You know, as you're travelling, you're stopping, you're starting, you're taking things out, you're putting things back in again, drinking your water, eating your food, drinking your beers. Just make sure that when you pack up and get back on the road, that you've got the balance right. Make sure there's between 8 and 15% on the ball so that you get a nice load, get going straight when you tow.
So 8 to 15% of your total load that you've got should be on the ball of the caravan to keep it running down the road like yours was.
Absolutely. Just make sure that that's what the tow vehicle can handle on the ball.
Ah, so do your research, get out your owner's manual, find out what your maximum tow ball weight of that car is, and then balance that up with the 8 to 15%, and you'll be as good as gold.
Correct.
Brilliant. Now, Tanya's out there finding out what there is around the park for us to see and do. Why don't we finish getting settled in? When she gets back, we'll be right to tackle the day.
Go for it.
We've just arrived at beautiful Stockton Beach here at the holiday park, and I've caught up with Gemma. And mate, you have the best park here. It is just fantastic. Tell me about some of the facilities.
So we've got great facilities here, but the best draw card for us is the location. We're right on Stockton Beach here, so we have direct beach access from the park. And then we're just a short ferry ride, 5 minutes into Newcastle city centre. And then an hour away is the Hunter Valley and Port Stephens area as well.
So if people want to come and caravan here, camp, or just use one of the cabins, what have you got as far as the facilities?
So we've got powered and unpowered sites, also ensuite powered sites, and then we've got 2 and 3 bedroom cabins which are only about 2 years old.
And your camp kitchen looks sensational.
Yeah, thank you. It's only about a year old and it's a great facility. There's great cooking facilities in there as well as a rec room for the children.
And being so close to the beach and also in town, you've got the best of both worlds here, really.
Yeah, it's a great facility. It feels like you're a million miles away from everywhere.
Well, Gemma, I'm really going to enjoy the next couple of nights here. You've got such a beautiful park and I'm going to soak up every bit of it. But right now, I'm going to go and catch up with Macca. Apparently, he's going to jump off a cliff and I've really got to see that.
Coming up after the break, Tanya gets a little bit more than she bargained for.
What's up down under?
Well, apparently Tanya said she'd like to see me fall off a cliff this afternoon, but I've got a little bit of news for the young lady because I've done it before, she hasn't. Tanya's going for a flight this afternoon.
Mac is good at falling off cliffs, but guys, at the end of the day, it's all about living on the edge and seizing the moment. So that's exactly what I'm going to go and do right now.
Yeah, well, you've talked the talk. How about you going? Walk the walk.
Today, I got to fly. Today, it was the closest thing to being a bird I've ever experienced in my life.
Paragliding was great fun because Tanya thought that she was setting me up to go paragliding. But I'd done a little bit of setting up of my own and the plan was for Tanya to get in that paraglider today, and when she found out, she wasn't all that confident.
So I'll get you to turn around.
Okay, have you checked all these things? Are they all completely okay? Everything's connected and
Perfect.
everything, you happy with that?
Everything's perfect.
I was a little bit nervous to begin with, but then after talking to Nathan, my pilot, I thought, well, I'm in pretty safe hands here. This is really getting real now. Oh, I know this gear. It's bit 50 Shades.
Yes.
And isn't life about living and seizing the moment? And that's exactly what I did today.
Right, so from now on,
Yep.
it's to your advantage if you don't undo anything.
Right. Okay. Don't undo anything till we land.
That's right.
Rightio.
All right, we'll go ahead.
Bit nervous. I'm excited actually, because I've never done anything like this before. But yeah, I'm a little bit nervous, but I'm feeling very confident with Nathan. So I'll tell you all about it when I land. Wow.
Good and land. Wiggle your
Yep.
arms, get your arms out now.
Yep. I'm away. This is fantastic.
But by the time she got back, she loved it. I mean, just what she went through today is proof enough that anyone who has any apprehension about going paragliding, get out there and do it. She'll tell you all about it. She was a champion and she loved it.
If you ever get the opportunity to go paragliding, you just have to do it. It's just the most fantastic experience. I survived. Thanks, mate. Appreciate it. Fantastic. Oh, one of the best things I've ever done. I'm so glad Macca didn't do it. Oh, I never thought jumping off a cliff could feel so good. If you haven't done that, you got to do it. It's just amazing, fantastic. What a day. How do you top that? Well, that's it for today's episode. We hope you've enjoyed it as much as we have.
It's all been brought to you thanks to our great mates at G&S Chassis, Lotus Caravans and, of course, Galaxy Caravans.
Join us next week when we show you more of What's Up Down Under.
What's up, down